Yes, yes.
Oh, I didn't mean it. I just threw it. Oh, well, yeah, pretty much. I've been going through a lot of death these days. Right now, they'll get you by that way. You did for like 30 years. They're pushing it.
Mic check. That sounds good. Mic check.
That's good. Thank you. All right. Oh, hey.
I'm sitting over there.
This is for the guy that's operating the platform. But these two. Yeah.
We have come here to this land by Mexico, this land of many cultures, this land of brown tribe, this land of red tribe, this land of black tribe, this land of white tribe. To build sacred inipi, spirit inside, to gather, to work in harmony. Looking up from willow branch bending not breaking, bending angry bee sounds, buzzing air, bees coming here, big angry bees coming here, raging bees buzzing now, buzzing, power, growing, stronger, louder, now closer still, giant bee pointing, stinging, monster chainsaw, giant buzz saw, sound pounding air, roaring. First angry bee coming into view, red bee buzzing machine, four-wheeled red buzzing machine, 1,000-pound green warrior riding jelly belly green warrior jiggling black gun fascist fatback riding his border patrol. Seams bursting great green bogus bear hunting four-wheeled buzzing red machine following. Desert machine, off-road machine, 5,000-pound fashion fat dripping on land of the free for some. Motor screaming, hot air buzzing, two more angry red buzzing bee machines following, riding two green 10,000-pound warriors, guns jiggling, cracker hunters hunting.
Would you like to cook dinner?
Hunting for Mama from San Salvador. Mama bleeding, Mama lungs bleeding, Mama tear-eyed, Mama running from fat cracker green bees hunting Guatemala. Mama come to El Norte to feed baby boy, riding belly wrapped hammock cloth, riding starving, wondering when, Mama? When will belly stop hurting? Belly stop screaming? Belly stop grabbing? Mama, when? When, Mama, when?
Thank you.
What has happened to my country? Why does my land of the free hunt Nicaragua mama, push Mexican papa down dirty roads in dirty droves? Hungry, tired droves, chased by angry red bees. Why did your land of the brave need big fat black guns, hugging fat cracker bully bellies, hunting mamas and papas, beckon north to work for power masters of the green frog skin? What has happened to the border patrol? Sacramento spin doctors, egregious priests of secret government, profit pounding politicos framing road signs of Latino families running in the sun. blinding brown children, Nicaraguan children, El Salvadoran children, Mexican children, American children, with bright lights, spotlights, hunting lights in the night, hunting children in the night, hunting mamas in the night, hunting papas in the night. What has happened? Imagine all of us voting. What has happened? All of us voting. What has happened for most qualified cultural politico? What has happened? Driving out racist incumbents. What has happened? Who chase children in the night, who put kids in cages. Change. Let's change this fascist industry of misery. What has happened to our country? What has happened to La Migra? What has happened?
Can I go? Am I free to go?
This is second Sunday Jihmye poetry, and I want to thank you all for coming. That was not from the San Diego Poetry Annual, but everybody that's featuring today is published in San Diego Poetry Annual. I just need to say a little something about what's happening at the border. That poem was about when my father died in 1994, and I went down to the border to help build a sweat lodge. And there was going to be a ceremony later on that evening after we built this sweat lodge. And we had the ceremony. It was a sweat lodge is a purification ceremony, Native American. And that was really a nice event. And then I bought my sleeping bag, but in the middle of the night, I was awakened by all these helicopters on their shining spotlights. And I felt like I was back in Vietnam. And it was the United States border with Mexico. And I got very angry. And Friends of Friendship Park has had a binational friendship garden that the Border Patrol, La Migra, just bulldozed and took it out after they built a 30-foot high fence, 2 of them. And so if you are interested in helping out, on the table over there, there is a fundraiser for the Friends of Friendship Park to continue to fight. That park was created by Pat Nixon back in 1970. So it will be an international park of peace and friendship between the United States and Mexico could be celebrated there. And now it's been bulldozed with 2 30-foot high fences. And so on that is a QR code where you can take your cell phone and tune into that QR code, and you can donate to the Friends of Friendship Park. And we'll be doing the fundraiser on the 16th at Casa del Tumel in Tijuana, but you can also attend on Zoom, and we'll have more information about that as we get closer to the 16th. So thank you for coming. We're very political here. My partner, Jimmy Collins, painted that big painting over there. He was a painter and a poet. This is Jimmy. He was a Black Panther back in Indianapolis back in the day. He would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he would go to a kitchen, and they would feed children who were going to go to school hungry. And in the 9 cities that the Black Panthers became very strong in, back when they were very strong, they fed 15,000 children a day who were going to go to school hungry. And I call that patriotism when that's happening. Then when that was done, he would go out and he would do clothing drives for poor people, not just Black people, but poor people. And then late at night, they would also go out and they would go into homes of elders, and they would find out what kind of medication they were supposed to get, and they would go get their medication for them. That's the Black Panthers that I know about, because that's what he taught me. If you look right here, it says, welcome all races, all countries of origin, all sexual orientation, all genders, all abilities. That's Jimmy Collins. And that's what we're about. So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. If you have to use the facilities, they're behind me on the left. And if you're on Zoom, who's on Zoom? Oh, is that Bill?
No.
The publisher of the San Diego, I didn't know he was there. The publisher of the San Diego Poetry Annual, Bill Harding, is with us. And Bill, you want to say something to our audience, please? Is he muted, Alfred? You're muted, Bill. You're muted, Bill.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you, Jim, for putting on this reading again. You've done it every year, and as a regional editor, you always find some poets for us and give us some great work of your own. I wanted to remind everybody that the Steve Cowett Poetry Prize is still open for entries, and that submissions to the San Diego Poetry are still open until October 15th. So I hope you'll go to the website, sandiegopoetryannual.com, and check out submissions and the Steve Cowett Poetry Prize. I love you guys, and I love the work you do, and I'm grateful to be part of it. Thanks.
So if you don't have a copy of the annual, we have it up here. And so each poet has usually so two poems or 5 minutes. There's so many of you here, so many talented people. Hi, Marjorie. Speaking of talented, we're going to do one poem. You can read from the annual. If you have something new you want to try on us, that's fine too. So let's start with someone who wasn't supposed to be here today. She's been teaching internationally as a theater coach, as a voice coach. This is Jan Gist.
Hello, can you hear me okay? Yeah. For my 5 minutes, I have a few poems about words, written words, spoken words, possible words.
Jan, just one poem.
One poem, you've got it. Words. Words are symbols to represent experience in an attempt to convey and share experience with others. Words are not the experience itself. The act of selecting and arranging words is one experience, while experience itself is another experience. So when speaking or writing, we are going through at least two experiences at about the same time, and these two experiences change each other. In my attempt to put my experience into words, I am focusing differently than if I were to silently experience. So while I try to capture or translate into words an experience, that experience itself is changing because I'm putting it into words. We could just grunt, moan, laugh, howl, cough, but maybe that would be more of the experience itself. But would it have less detail? Sometimes the perception of experience is enhanced by words and sometimes diminished. Words are playthings. Experience is multi-layered, ever-changing. Words are tricksters, but then what isn't? Perception itself is a translation of experience itself.
Again, as I look down this list, it's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Charlie Barrett, come up, please.
Outside of the annual, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm good. I think as long as I can see over my shoulder here, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I've never felt that comfortable with microphones. Usually, I had jury duty recently, and I spoke in the microphone there during the voir dire, and I just about blew out the ears of the guy in front of me. So I'd like to share this, though. This is a more recent piece, and given that it is a Sunday, here goes. Eve and the apple. It's such a bad rap. Oh, let us acknowledge, how could she not give in to temptation? That business with that devil dude doing his mad slither thing, strictly red herring. For those shackled by timidity. See, she'd been gifted with wishing and dreaming and a yen for some answers. So accountable she can't be for yielding to impulse, or else someone other needs to take then the hit for such an unreasonable ask. That knowledge is off limits bit, and yes, there is more. Had Eve not made her move, then riddle this query. Would we have anything approaching those peaks of art and existence we cherish and celebrate deep down from the past and across the millennia? Of course there's a cost then, withdrawal of perfection, and times now so precious, the ultimate in notion of low-lying fruit. But I've got just a hunch that Eden, unedited, most likely was dull. And despite built-in death surety plus end to Arcadia, life then had more meaning. Hardest core heresy, I'm fully aware, but seminal foundation for potential that's infinite. So leave us give kudos for Eve, that core rebel. She lost us a garden, but gained us a world.
Charlie was just interviewed on Electric Picnic on KNSJ. You know when that's going to air?
Oh no, it did already. It was a while ago. I mean, I don't know how she works it up. You know, I mean, I sometimes maybe she repeats them. Who knows? But it was like about 3 or 4 weeks after the interview.
Okay.
But at least one time it's played already. She'll play them like a week. You know, there are 3 times the program airs. I think it's Monday, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then there's Wednesday at 3 in the afternoon, and Saturday night, 7 p.m.
Okay, Coach, you can contact KNSJ and ask when Charlie's interview is going to be played. You can do that too. So thanks for coming.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Appreciate you. Susan Walter, have you been here before? Yes, you have.
Oh, yes.
This is Susan Walter.
I'll go this to Mike.
Hello. I come with props. My puppy. This is my puppy. He's an Afghan hound. This is called The New Toy. And I'm going to tell you, I was supposed to read this at one of Curran Sontage's, but I wasn't able to attend that one. So a friend of mine read it, and it went very well. I think we all miss Curran. But anyway, The New Toy. So I woke up to find my black puppy, he only weighs 80 pounds, doing some sort of calisthenics, see? On his bed down there on the ground. From his toes to his teeth, first his nose to front feet, his paws held a thing that stretched like a string. Arise went his snout, in the air it did point, stretched high in the sky, then back to his feet. Repeat. 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 Curious, I crawled from my bed, put a hand on his head, and then I discovered this thing his neck covered. around one front leg to a paw and his teeth. 'Twas black like he. My black bra. Arise, I commanded. He did as demanded and wore it indifferently. Ignored it completely. In drag, Pup was a sight, which sister and friend took mirthful delight during morning coffee. Entertainer, unconsciously. He returned to regular thrill of stealing snot Kleenex, crawling under the table, chewing feet if was able, licking the cat, normal pup things like that. The bra just another collar, as unimportant to him as that.
Andy's here.
The gentleman that's walking that way, that's Alfred Williams. Can we give him some love? He is recording this event and he will have it online in the next few days. And I think that's wonderful because there's some people in here that are definitely my heroes and sheroes. So tune in. I'll be sending out to, we have a mailing list. If you're not on the mailing list, please put your email on the sign up list and I'll make sure that you see this event that we're doing today. Just Ernest Nelson, are you ready? We only taught history in high school for 2 millennium, and now he's with us today. We appreciate you talking into the microphone, because if you don't, we don't know if it's recording you. We had that experience last time.
Thank you.
Good to see you all. I brought the 5th edition of my book, Harvest. Many of you already have the 4th edition or previous. So feel free to take one of the new ones and give the 3rd or 4th edition away and have the 5th because it's more complete. There's no charge for the book, but if you're able to, consider making a donation to the Friendship Park with Jim Moreno and that wonderful organization.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Chris Ernest Nelson, and this is A Simple Life. I long to live a simple life without trouble or cares. A life with simple needs that are predictable and obliging. I long for a simple life where I make all the rules and my needs are fulfilled at the taco shop, online, or on TV. How I wish for a few friends who know how to leave me alone unless I call them for a special favor or a ride. I want friends who know how to keep their troubles to themselves and so not to bother me asking for help. I long to live a simple life in the quiet of my room, where a morning walk is enough work for the day. I long for a simple death that comes at the right time without a rude disruption to my regular routine. Thank you for listening.
How about some more love for Chris, please?
Don't forget the Friendship Park.
Oh, Carol Moscrip, please come up. Take your time, take your time. And if you have just come in and you want to be part of the people that read, please grab me and we'll put your name on the sign-up list. Okay.
Thanks again for Jabel for putting this wonderful book together year after year. Yeah, okay. Zip code. She scrolls through watery territories, looking for the zip code of the sea, a natural expanse seized by numerology that advances the waves with the clockwork of the moon's ancient craters, shadows forming the features of a human searching for the right equation of sea and land. The gravity of yearning to find a location between sea and shore, moon worthy. Suspended animation, the first option, as she slides the phone back into its case with 9 numbers in her mind and a 0. Waves moving seaweed on the shore, familiar as the moon she hangs in her window, a moon that has forged the sea. A lantern to the end of her story. The sea lulls at tides change. A renewed moon takes over as couriers with messages from her past, disguised as just another evening. Numbers forming around time's edges. Tide suds curling as names of numbers scribbled on the shore. The code is secure. The sea lowers its defenses. Her white hair tosses its abundance to the wind. Love's memories are hues of blue on blue as she longs for the jade of the sea. 1 number implies all the others.
Penny Perry, are you reading today?
Yes.
Bill's wife, I have to do this. Penny Perry, are you reading today? Say yes.
Yes.
Will you let us pretty face and read to us, please?
Okay. My poem is on page 46. Abacus. Abacus cooking in my skull. Another loved one gone. Puny me, a survivor. How do I hang on? By a tendril, a half note, a vowel. Why this quirky joy? Because the hills turn pink at sunset, or when sweet peas trim old fruit tree branches like Christmas holly, or the morning my runaway neighbor sneaks home to tend her geese, or seeing the new deck my son just finished building from where I now squint at the setting sun, the city lights the spirits of my loved ones need me to see.
Thank you, Penny. Thank you for reading. Thanks for coming today. Jack Stewart Smith, are you ready? He's our sound man. He's our sound man. I want to do it while he's coming up here. I want to do a shout out to another editor of the San Diego Poetry Annual, Michael Clam. Would you wave to us, please?
Almost barefoot. You can fly. Take a look. No. But that's great. They just wrote the songs. Ah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, family. I love you all. Now, this is a song I just wrote. It's called Our Freedom, Our Life. Listen, oh, please listen. It's the time for no delays. People, won't you please listen to these words I've got to say? Got to find some answers, search around and find some clues. My spirit's been speaking loudly about the work that we must do. Freedom, life, our freedom, our life. We'll stand up to be counted, make a stand against all hate. We'll stand up for our freedom. You know this must be our fate. Freedom, life, freedom, our life. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our life. Freedom for all races. Freedom for the old. Freedom for our children. Freedom to be bold. Freedom, life, freedom, life. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our life. We want our freedom. Yeah. We want our life. Yeah. Our freedom. Our life. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. Yeah. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our life. We want our freedom. We want our freedom. We want our life. We want our freedom. We want our life, 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 life. We want our freedom.
Jack Stewart Smith, how about some love?
Yeah.
San Diego Poetry Annual is about inclusion. And Bill Harding, when he approached me to be a regional editor, I was surprised. I graduated bottom third in my high school class. There were so many keg parties, it was hard to go to class. I have 2 brain cells left from the 70s. But the San Diego Poetry Annual would like your input. I'm going to put these over on the author's table. And, you know, we have this kind of little history here that when all of this is said and done, and all the poetry has been said, hang out. If you want to go up to a poet and talk about their influences or how they got started, that's what we do here. Jimmy was really, really clear about that. Jimmy Collins was wanting us to have a lot of connection with one another. So I'm going to put these over here, and it says why the San Diego Poetry Annual matters to you, your name and your email address. And so, because I believe that Michael Clam and Bill would like to send you an email and thank you for your input, because we can't do this without you. Give yourself some love. Joe Milash.
All right, I got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
You know, we have a great community here. And sometimes we get comfortable because we don't ever think about what causes it. But Bill Harding, Jim Morano, Michael Clem, Ted Washington, Deborah Ramos, Robert O'Sullivan, and I can go on. There are just so many people who give us a place to read. There are people like Frank who give us a place to come and share our words. That has everything, because without community, we couldn't write our poems. They would just kind of shrivel like old apples. And Jim likes to say that he first saw me when I was on a picture in a post office. And that's true. I'm wanted for murdering the English language. But it's not my fault. I come from Detroit, so. 5 minutes, yeah. This is called The Child of the Sun and the Earth on the 7th anniversary of my wife's death. Shapeless as mud puddles, tortillas brown on the comal. Between them are green chilies drilling in the light of morning. The smell of cooking serranos mixes with the steaming flatbread. I turn them with my fingers as my wife instructed. When she was teaching me, I asked, "Don't you ever burn your fingers?" "Don't cry about it, just flip them," she replied, her eyes laughing. Today as I cook, I miss her singing El Sol Que, Tu Eres, the sun that you are, and other canciones de su madre, songs of her mother. I wrote, under the sun, an ear of corn flies a brown silk flag of the earth. And add water to ground corn, and a tortilla is born, a child of sun and soil. Patsy, I said, you are a child of sun and earth, and her golden brown eyes lit up as she mixed the dough while teaching me to pat masa into a circle. She said, the first tortilla ever made was perfect off the grill. Round like the sun, brown as the earth. Since then, millions of women have made millions of tortillas, and now they're a sacrament. Now, when women make tortillas, they're prayers for the family. Joe, she said, pointing, these are the prayers I've said for you. Now, I remember mornings when I asked, what are the chances for a kiss? You said, tienes una ala y una oración. You have a wing and a prayer. I replied, dame un beso. Give me a kiss. Thank you.
I read Joe's poems in juvenile hall all the time. And as you know, teens are kind of hard to catch their attention. But with his poems, especially the poem I read today, is called Why Is a Scar on a Man? After about 2 lines, it's really quiet and they're really listening. And then after that poem I read this morning, Why Is a Scar on a Man? There was complete silence for just for a few minutes. They really, really like him a lot. Some more love for Joe Malash, please. Katie Kimple, are you ready? How about some love for Katie Kimple?
Hey, can everyone hear me? Okay, good. I'm always nervous when I come up to a mic that's gonna be the right height, so it looks like it is. So today's my birthday. So thank you for hosting a reading on my birthday. It's like the perfect opportunity for me. Does anyone else have a September birthday? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, and this poem is for you too. It's a September poem. I am in the annual. I'm on page 366, but I thought I'd read the September poem today. September names. I grew up with girls named January and Monday, winter and snow, delicate rabbits at daybreak, natural beginnings. My name cut cute, Katie, a coupon clipped from the fall. Catherine means pure. My heritage, a dull blade, Irish Catholic. How I might have thrived as a month or a day, a full season. Call me red leaf, milkweed. Call me Thursday or autumn. Names that repeat naturally with fecundity, sensually, not through 1,000-year patriarchies of biblical crime and dust. No. If you must call me earth. Call me chipmunk. Call me woolen scarf. Call me wind chime crafting turbulence. September birthdays beckon of quirky madness. A miracle of mushrooms bloom under starlight, splitting a sea of crabgrass. I cannot be a blank canvas. I am a fungus, not a Janus looking both ways to cross. Born toward the end, I rush into sweetness. Call me Brayburn, ambrosia, honey.
Katie, come back next month too. I'd like to have you. And now, Dolores Fisher.
it just the way you told it.
Almost. It was dramatic, wasn't it? And no. Okay. I'll not use it. Gonna try to keep it to 5 minutes. A Saturday evening in suburban upstate New York. Pretty frogs and fireflies, a quiet Saturday evening in July. Doing what they know to do, chirping, croaking, and lighting up the sky. And multi-sensory place and peace tableau. Upstate suburban western New York. Many sunsets we sat on 8x12 awning-clad concrete front porch, listening to Mama and Daddy talk up into late night. Talk about hot Georgia country evenings. They're so fresh you can breathe because of the sweetness of the blossoms in the air. Georgia night so dark and still you can almost hear angel songs. Cherry blossoms, so pregnantly, wonderfully sweet, your eyes smiled. Listening to crickets serenade, on and on, we talked. Talked about family and friends, Buffalo, New York, and changing times. Talked about people and our world. James Baldwin, Nikki Giovanni, Margaret Walker, Baraka, Sonia Sanchez, H. Rhett Brown, and Eldridge, Malcolm Martin, and Adam Clayton Powell Jr., Julian Bond, Ossie Davis, and Ruby Dee, Arthur Mitchell, Alvin A. Lee, Pig Meat Markham, and Moms Mabley, Red Fox, Sammy, Mahalia, the incomparable Mahalia, James Cleveland, Nina, Meyer, Little Stevie Wonder, the Jackson Five, Miriam Makeba, and the wonderful Aretha. Mama and Daddy told stories. Their families had sat small town rural Georgia folk on 12 by 20 by 4 foot planks, worn smooth oak planks, porches out in front of a rural farm. Talked about lynchings, cross burnings, raising up a new church near the baptizing creek, finding a new school teacher for the state school down the road, about folks catching freight trains north. Land of opportunity, you know. Daddy sometimes play a game with us, call names from his southern world, test our knowledge. Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver, A. Philip Randolph, W.E.B. Du Bois, and the Black Baptist Church's BTU. That's Baptist Trade Union for those not in the community. Larry McLeod, Bethune, Langston, James Weldon Johnson, Marcus Garfield, Ethel Waters, Ma Rainey, the fabulous Step Brothers, W.C. Handy, U.B. Blakes, Willie the Lion Smith, Marion Anderson, Thomas Dorsey, Louis Armstrong, and sweet Daddy Grace in the Holiness Church. Seems my folks, daddies, would sit in the middle of their porches, rocking gently in big old spruce wood rockers, shotgun close at hand, hidden from view. All the children gathered close around. One of my mama's aunties dated a Klansman, a covertly complicitous early warning system before brutish night raids. One of my daddy's uncles was praised as a hard-working, sensible, honest colored man, trusted friend of a sympathetic town official, a right smart, you know. He knew when to listen and when to seem like he wasn't listening. Kinfolk with survival love. While flames ate into the inner city hearts in the 60s, our family sat like their families sat before them. Seemingly peaceful, talking, seemingly enjoying loud sensory tableau, crickets, frogs, and fireflies. Oh my. Used to think I knew a lot as a child in the 60s, realizing how much less I did know now about calming peace so dearly won. At school, my older brothers openly tormented with old guard's venomous hatred. At home, first-generation immigrants, neighborly visits, accepting, reaching out and protecting us against those who tried to drive their families away. 2 generations earlier, Like them, and like his daddy before him in Georgia, our daddy kept protection, a registered shotgun and rifle on our Saturday nights. The shotgun and rifle were cocked and within reach just inside the vestibule door, just in case. They had been hunting the other day, and they shot, and you heard the bullets whiz past our lawn. Circles unending. In this 21st century kinder nation, my family sits in backyard suburban landscape patios behind decorators 6-foot-high reinforced steel fences. Sensor lights all around, pepper spray and mace at hand, registered gun locked in family room safe behind portrait covered reinforced door, cell phones on emergency 911 speed dial. We barbecue, swim, watch evening stars, children within view, gathered close around within our gates, distracted by iPods, text messages, 3D video games. We paint Tonawanda sunsets, crickets, frogs, and fireflies, humid upstate Western New York Saturday evenings in July, remembering Mama and Daddy risking hatred's hostility, moving us out of hot, fragile, racially torn 1960s Buffalo, New York, into calm, cool, yet angry, seething suburbia Tonawanda, behind rabid, screaming inferno in our urban cities, which roared and silently engulfed Buffalo, New York. We sat behind ironclad fences, listening to crickets, frogs, and fireflies.
Laura Fisher, give her some more love, please. J-Star Lit Writer. J-Star Lit Writer. Come on up. They're beautiful children.
Hi. I'm a true storyteller. I host a monthly open mic the third Friday of each month. Up Starlit Writer. This is a new one I've been working on. My dad. I lived with him and my mom until I'm 9 years old. My parents divorced. My mom remarried. I see my dad only once. When I'm 12, my stepdad offers to adopt me. Immediately, my dad agreed. I never hear from him again. He leaves me. My first boyfriend. One night, on a bender, starts walking and doesn't stop until he gets to 6. Oh, when it wears off, he doesn't know how to get home again. He leaves me. My lover. We go deep, fast. Even though we don't know much about each other, there is love. One day he decides to move away, not that far, but I never hear from him again. He leaves me. My partner. For years, I expect for life until he relapses back into his love for alcohol. I never see him sober again. Emotionally, he leaves me. Myself. I disconnected from her every time I doubted myself, hurt myself, hated myself, drank poison, got semi-conscious around sleazy people. When I needed me to be my protector, I left her. Then my new friend. He treads cautiously. He sees me past all of that. He asks what I need and listens. He values me and he's consistent. He encourages me as I rediscover myself. I apologize to that little girl I abandoned and I hold her. He doesn't want to pressure me or reopen my wounds. When he says he's in awe of me, I believe him. He touches me just to be close, not to take anything from me. I trust him. He leaves me wanting more in a good way, wanting him, giving all of me. He leaves me wanting everything I didn't know I've been missing, that I didn't think I deserved. Now that I've found a me that I won't leave again. Thank you.
Hey, Star, when is that open mic that you are the host of? Please tell us.
Storytelling open mic the third Friday of every month. So it's this Friday, September 5th at Twigs on Park. Yeah.
Which park is it, please?
The Twigs on Park, the Twigs Coffee Shop.
Oh, Twigs, okay.
There's a few of them now. Go to the one on Park.
The same one that Adrian Arancibal owns, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you've been around and you knew the Taco Shop Poets, you lived here that long, it's an amazing place to go. It's really cool. So please support. We want to support our artists. You know, that's why we have the authors table over there. We want to support each other. So thank you for coming. Some of the folks I'll be calling on came in after the initial part of our beginning. And we're honoring the San Diego Poetry Annual, people published in that. If you would like to read a poem that's not in the annual, that's fine. But please don't read a 4 or 5 page poem. You don't do that at an open mic. And if you want to read something not in the annual, that's perfectly fine. And so, Marie Knox.
I'm quite nervous.
Nervous.
This is my first time I've read this.
Let's get her done.
I'm Marie Knox. I also have a poem in the annual.
Closer to the mic.
But I'm not reading that poem. I'm reading my latest poem, which I just wrote this week. Year of the Rabbit. A rustle and a squeak. I heard it just barely over the noise of the running hose water. Disregarded. My tomatoes were in desperate need of watering, and my roses too. My entire garden was parched and demanding my attention. I didn't have time to go and look. After a few minutes, I could not resist wanting to look or ignore the feeling I had to investigate. So I peered around the corner of the house to see what it was. What it was? A giant red-tailed hawk stood on the ground, and below it, underfoot, something was rolling and moving, and at the same time, unable to free itself. I thought it was a dove, but I realized that birds do not move like that. A rat then was my second thought, until I saw the 2 outstretched legs. I knew it was a rabbit. In that very instant, my curious mind filled with true remorse for this creature, pushing out all of my previous thoughts of watering and tending my garden. My mind rushed to figure out how to save the rabbit. I will save you, rabbit, I said out loud, and the hawk heard me too, looking straight at me, opening her wings wide with 2 flaps and a gush of air. She was high in the sky, flying away with the rabbit dangling from her claws. I could see the 2 front legs The rabbit was not struggling anymore. As they left me standing on the ground, flying off into the sunset and the dusk sky to the place where rabbits die, I felt defeated, sad, and nearly tearful. I thought of the rabbit and being lifted into the air on its death flight. For the first time in its life, it had a bird's eye view of the world, how it must have felt to be lifeless in the talons of a raptor gliding through the air. And the hawk, I imagined how it must have thought, silly human, go back to your garden and growing of your vegetables and flowers, the things the rabbits steal from you when you sleep. I heard it is year of the rabbit. I am going to have a tasty meal of this rabbit who got fat eating your nasturtium, and I will be back for more. I plan on feasting on rabbits all year long.
Marie Cox, come back next month. Everybody in this room remembers when we walk up to the microphone for the first time. It was 1,000 miles from our seat to the microphone, and nobody threw tomatoes. And that's a very beautiful poem. So come back next month. And now, Janice Alper.
They love you. I love being here. It's really a privilege. I'm on page 90 in the manual, but I'm not reading that. And the poem about whom I wrote it, which is my granddaughter, is now a junior in college. She's in South America. And I have two publications on the table. One is a little book of poetry, and one is my memoir. A girl grows up in Brooklyn. Sitting on the stoop, a girl grows up in Brooklyn, 1944 to 1957. But I was born before. This is a work in progress. It's called Last Time. We met on a Jewish dating site. Widowed, check. Younger, check. Keep up with me, not sure. I laughed at your stories about flunking out of colleges, riding bulls, operating a nuclear reactor on the SS Haddock. You like being lazy, admired my energy, dubbed me the ever-ready. We became a couple, shared a bed, a love of cooking, entertained friends, and you always cleaned up the kitchen. Grief over the loss of our spouses, your daughter, my daughter, melted into our conversations like butter with flying eggs. We traveled. You're a pain in the ass. Couldn't pack worth a damn. You talked to the locals while I wandered in museums and castles. Yet we had fun, waded in the Blue Lagoon, zip-lined in Montana, ate our way through Copenhagen. Over time, the fat on your ample body was trimmed like the fat of a brisket. Your illnesses boiled it down. Hospice and morphine provided relief. The day before you died, I held your hand, listened to the familiar roar of your snore. Unresponsive, I spoke to you. Hearing is the last sense to go. For Chuck Cantor, June 10th, 1943 to August 15th, 2023. Thank you very much.
Our next poet is an accomplished visual artist as well as a poet. Please talk to her about her children's workshops called the Electric Crayon. She's about ready to do her second one of those. And she did that, the first one at the San Ysidro Library. And she had the poets, the kids write a poem on one side of her art paper, and on the other side do a drawing of what the poem is all about. This is Marjorie Pisori.
I have to say, Deborah Ramos she is the other part of the electric crayon, which started with the electric womb. The Deborah, the concept is fine. So I have a poem in the annual Skybrush. I don't remember what page it's on, but on my birthday at the Point Love Library, I got to read it then. And that's inspired by my star child. So today it's appropriate that I finally finish this book, which I will read. Unfriended. Taller walls loom, seaside separation, flowers swept away. Waves through bars, beachcombers cry, birds fly high. Line of division, 30-foot walls, may flowers return. Friendship Park, taller walls loom, time to plant seeds. Thank you.
Anitra, our flute player, you ready?
I have two little poems, one dignified and one undignified, and I decided I know my poet brother, who treats me just like a brother would. So undignified poem, but sometime Marie, let me sing you my song, Stage Fright. It'll make you feel better, okay? Undignified. Hemorrhoids. If I had hemorrhoids, I would give them names. Harold, Hortense, Henry. I think it would cheer them. So that rather than being unmentioned and hidden where the sun rarely shines, they could debut and be introduced in polite company, like family pets.
My next door neighbor is our next poet. One of the things about Michael is that twice you did the Peace and Dignity Run? Three times he did the Peace and Dignity Run. It happens every 4 years for world peace. And in the North America, they run with Eagle staffs from Alaska to Puerto Rico.
No. Terra del Fuego and Alaska meet in Teotihuacan, usually. But once we met in Panama, because the Southern runners had a hard time with their visas and all that. I would just run the country without showing anything.
So the people from the South, they run with Condor staffs.
And the people from the north, Native Americans that run from the north, they run with eagle staffs. And he's done that 3 times. This is Michael Turner Ortega.
All right, before I start, I want to let everyone know that the 29th of September, Ricky Gaines will be doing a poetry reading at Twix Coffee Shop on Park. And Deborah and I and a few others will be reading poetry from our favorite poets, plus our own. So look forward to that. I hope to see you guys there too. All right. I have Firekeeper in the book, page 193, but I've revised it. Here it goes. Firekeeper, crooked words don't claim me. Logic unclaimed crosses borders, reflected by a life of abandon, where our needs make our hearts, where our needs and our hearts make stanzas worth their weight in stranded stars. We are for one another on the level, all about the page. What the storyteller says, words of personal beliefs, folly, and paths to growth. Questions with answers on fire. Loaded visions sleep. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. In between what's real and imagined, the people are way ahead, out in front, and the capitalists left behind in the dust. Right hand clicks the amygdala, the other hand throws cedar on the story between horizon lines on the other side of life's twists and turn me around. The color of this breeze be yellow hued with a golden crown on its medicine wheel, sings ceremonially throughout the night. Thank you.
We have 7 poets left, but I wanted to bring a musician up that I heard at a thing called the was it the Electric Vagina? Is that what it was? Oh, the Electric Womb. You can leave the area. I'm sorry, Bill. I had to do that. I'm sorry. I apologize. But he was a wonderful guitar player. He's also her Tai Chi teacher. And this is Michael Birmingham. Let's give him some love, please. Mike, for you? Like where it is. Yeah, just down.
How are we doing today? I don't think I need an intro after last commentary.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So I got a new guitar, and I had an old song, and I took my old song and for this event, just kind of reading what it was about and the intention, I kind of reworked it. So bear with me, because before that, I'm going to read the quickest poem that I wrote last night. It's really quick, 5/7/5 form. Just wait, you will see. I am not mosquito food. Mosquito food, intention to harm. All right.
The heart is a fugitive, refugee without a land. In an age that has no spirit, a world that has no spirit, an accidental tourist, traveling through the soul's plane to live up to the steps of the dead at the hands of the wicked. So return to the earth of forgotten jewels and cry to our sense of intuition. We are all just fugitives, refugees without a land, in an age that has no spirit, a world that has no spirit, accidental tourists, traveling through the soul's plane, delivered onto the steps of the dead at the hands of the wolf. To the end of forgotten jewels and cry to a sense of intuition. Return to the end of forgotten jewels. Cry to a sense of intuition. Something like that. Okay.
That's Michael Birmingham. Andy Paliciano, are you a civilian or are you going to read today?
I'll read, yeah. Hey.
Hey, give him some love, please.
All right. Yeah, I want to thank Jim Moreno and everyone at the San Diego Poetry Annual, Michael Clam and Bill Harding, who gave me the direction for my book, the new book, Revolutions Night and Day. And it's on Amazon, Powell, and Barnes and Noble. But I'll read from the San Diego Poetry Annual, my poems on page 338. It's called The Veil. The veil has been lifted. There were pools watered by our tears, but now they are puddles that in we frolic and play. There, in the fair day of joy, was a woman pushing a covered baby carriage that was barking. In maddened laughter, I said, "Barking baby carriages." It sounded like something Boy Wonder would say to Batman. And we skipped onto a museum made out of an aircraft carrier. In the halls were mannequins reenacting their duties, some on computers, some in meeting rooms. At the end of the hall, there were mannequins asleep in bunks. We ran through the hall shouting, "Sleepers, awake!" Thank you.
Andy, what's the name of your book again, please?
Yeah, it's called Revolutions Night and Day. Yeah, and it's on Amazon, Powell, and Barnes and Noble.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Thanks for coming. That's Andy Malpalaciano.
Thank you.
Alicia R., are you here?
My name's Alicia Richard. Put down Richard because I spell it like Richard and no one would pronounce it correctly. And this poem is called Passing. Time is passing, passing, passing. So slowly, I think I can watch the growing grass. And I wonder, what does it mean to pass? Time is passing, passing, passing. For years I've passed time, day by day. Too much work, not much play. Passing months, passing hours. Feeling listless, unempowered. Pessimism made me sour. Skewing sunsets and fragrant flowers. All this privilege, yet often mad. Income and assets don't stave off sad. Not depressed, but feeling drab. And all along, time was passing, passing, passing. I've lived my whole life as one big lie. I was always a girl, but presented as a guy. Now I'm ready to come out. In fact, I'm ready to shout. I'm a beautiful, vibrant woman. Yet as I walk about, others make me doubt if I'm passing, passing, passing. You're a girl with a beard, isn't that kind of weird? Your voice is a bass, it doesn't match your made-up face. Your boobs are fake, you've got no hips, and without Botox in your lips, how can you be passing, passing, passing? My brothers and sisters, does passing mean perfection? Because after reflection, I see an infection caused by the intersection of cishet norms and cultural storms, whence the toxin forms in our brains that we are not good enough. If I feel I can't pass, it starts a tailspin, and I box myself into a standard of thin and unblemished skin, only wearing what's in with a plastered on grin. What if passing's a standard I can never attain? Is all this in vain? Am I relegated to the pain of living in the wrong body for several more years, compounding my fears that I will never live the life I was meant to have? No, hell no. It's me who dictates my best self. I decide if I'm clocked or stealth. I reclaim my mental health. Play the best with the hand I'm dealt. Do I pass or double down? Fix on my wig and don a gown? Flip a smile from a frown. Live it up, go out to town. But wait, herein lies my power. Every minute, every hour. I'm 57, in my prime. My trans self, redefined. As a woman, so divine. My love for self, so sublime. Now internally aligned. Never again, just passing time. If I wait to be passing, I deny myself living the authentic life that I have the right to decide for myself. Yes, hell yes, I decide for myself and you for yourself, and we are our best selves, being heard, being seen as we are. Perfection not required. I don't have time for others to decide if I'm passing, because right now, I'm focused on living, living, living.
Yeah.
Alicia, I'm so glad we're recording this. And if Jimmy was here, Jimmy Collins was here, he would have yelled, teach, about 3 or 4 times. Give some more love, please. He does not like decaf. This is Chris Vanoy.
Hear your New England accent.
All right. Now, I might embarrass myself because I might not have sent any poem in for last year. I don't know, was there one in here for me?
Look in the index in the back under
I
Vinoy.
think 2 years ago you were. When you were in Connecticut.
Oh. If there's not one in there, guess what I got? Is there one in there?
You got some backup, Chris.
You're on page one
Oh,
oh
there I am.
four, Chris.
I got it.
104.
That's his book.
Thank you, Janice. That's the scholar.
And you good.
All right. Poem I wrote, now let me see when I write it, 1990. My first workshop, one of my first workshop poems, it's called Lady in Waiting. She enticed him, wove him in and about with her sound, her smell, her styling, guiling ways, her pan flute aria spilling out snake charmer notes of passion and need, until he was lost to her, smothered in her pheromone-scented hair, her sultry words, her double entendre, moving him towards subtle pleasures that played in his mind like drops on a still pool, luring him to share her bed made with promises, her innocently smiling face, her moist, soft skin hot upon him, all the same time weaving her silken web, her hidden death, her post-connubial bliss veiled in her warm embrace, gravely concealing her intentions until after the deed was done and he held her in his arms for the last time. Can anybody guess what that was about? Huh?
Spiders, those ones that kill.
Black widow spider, yeah. We're gonna be doing an all-women's reading with Marjorie and Deborah and Billy K. Bounton and a couple other people, Anna Jenkins. Anyway, the 22nd of September at Twigs. Go to Twigs on Friday, the 22nd of September. Thank you.
Happening again. I like this.
Madison, Victoria. Give her some love, please. Thanks for coming back again. This one.
Hello,
Good to see you again.
likewise. So this is a recent piece that I wrote in parts over the course of a week as I drove through the Midwest on a road trip up to Minnesota. So it's kind of about that part of America. It's called Pray and Go. Bone cable crucifix strung up above yellow dotted grasslands, a seminal spread by the sun across dry, feathery greens, sown along the hot cement lip of the road. The fields kept humble, kept down by the steady trudge of near wild cattle, a rigid Taurus muscle whose flight is sacrifice, flexed in a wave moving slow, a rumination, discipline worked by hundreds of years of grazing bodies, even our galaxy named for the mammal gift of nurture by suggestion, where even waste is an agricultural fodder. Pretty bone whites and a sunburnt pink mouth twist the simple symbol of Demeter with the tongue, gumming up the stems between missing teeth, while a heavy leather furrow keeps heat off the eyes. Playing chicken with bulging truck faces, brighter than the sky, acrylic colors cut clean against the steel, little graveyards here and there, a power plant smokestack. Hold your breath for the tunnels, the acid rain, for star faithful, for all the kids killed along the interstate, for Christian hogwash and Coca-Cola red, heels tapped thrice. All corn yellow signs lead to Sodom. Fear God, obey, the open sky, the state law, the lightning bugs, the teeny bopper blonde at the drive-thru, your father, and the emerald eye of his gun made of oak and maple and loss. Thank you.
As the applause was ringing your ears, I hope that you understand you're the poster woman for why we need more young people here. Give her some more love, please. Those words fall on our ears. There's some sanity that comes and some inspiration that comes and imagination. So thank you for all of that. Appreciate it. Come back next month. Our next poet is probably could make a children's choir weep when he plays his flute, but he's not here to do that. He's not he's our flautist today. I met him at a John Fox workshop, and we've stayed in touch. He had a rough time with the COVID for a while, but he's made it back. This is John Kingsmill.
Jim, you're such a gracious host, truly. I'm not a political poet, typically, but I've got a political poem because Jim said that, this is about being political. So that's what I'm going to be. I would say it falls as a neutral political poem. And I would say that I wrote it 6 years ago, and it's probably
Last year he had the COVID so bad, it was like a skeleton. He was eating.
Called The Hammer. The hammer is dropped. The country trumped. The rock of ages lies smashed into crystalline rubble. The very pieces that formed it, God and the governance of religions, family traditions, fair trade, the order of government, its rules and doctrine, ground to stand on, touchstones of hope, all shattered, scattered as rubble across the ground and across the world. Light now shines into the darkest corners. Off the edges of each crystalline shard, revealing secrets in the very footprints of our daily living. We, the people, are at once blinded by the light of possibility and clear in the reality of how lost, how brutal we can be. Massacres of many, sometimes millions, refugees running across the world, everyday killings in the street, habitual torture, remembered massacres, and the future feared for. All this lives and dies overnight as news flashes of the darkness we hold, of the darkness we decree. We can rise, we can run, we can hope, we can pray, or we can simply slip back into our ordinary ways.
Sonia Davis, are you here? Waiting so patiently. Give Sonia Davis some love, please.
I am going to read one. Obviously, I'm nervous, so you guys. I'm going to read one about my parents. This is called Abstract Slap. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Truth is real knowledge. It's simple and clear. Abstract illusions just hurt my ears. Burning, ringing, the sound's an attack. But during the holidays, I cut that abstract slap. Spiritually bypassing and voidless harassing. Our time in past lives proves as former gaslighting. But if hope is alive, one can merely survive, while voids full of hope only mirror the joke. Love becomes grief, and we will pay the price. Yet avoiding the void will not ever suffice. Old musty stamps are placed but not sent. Things only change when you don't repent. Voluptuous promises vacate and they die. Trudge through divine plane and don't ask why. Peace, love, prayers, and send good vibes. We're all one in accepting bribes. Just invoke your inner something or other. Hang new age tchotchkes, pure earthly mother. Crystals, sage, incense, let it burn. Superficiality claims the secrets they learn. Spiritually bypassing the truth is key. Why dig down deep if you think you're free? But during the holidays, I'm trying to pause because my parents love provoking my character flaws. Mom with her Healy, knowledge, and medication, dad spewing spiritual regurgitation. Each claim to be Zen with no clear relaxation. Have I ever seen them pause their minds and relax? He doesn't sleep much except narcoleptic naps. Mom wakes up frequently to eat almond butter. Something about needing more protein, she mutters. Mom antagonizes me each chance she's got. Dad lost his filter, my nerves running hot. Intellectuals, well-read, black sheep, and quite odd. No wonder I try on my favorite facade. With Mom, I try and prove I'm fine. With Dad, my eyes roll and I try not to whine. Mom with her incessant need to talk. Dad tries to listen, but with a gaze that will stop. Mom has her outbursts when she doesn't feel seen. Dad says he doesn't need the COVID vaccine. Feels like I'm sometimes the parent of preteens. Then I have to learn to reparent myself, nurture little Sonia, put the rest on the shelf. It's incredibly hard for me not to react, but when I do, I guiltily retract. I try and set boundaries and they seem offended. Well, I'm trying to fix what feels upended. I can't help but feel that I disappoint them, where to the outside world, I'm a rebellious femme. I know they both love me in their own special ways, and I'm hoping my resentments are but a phase. He says I'm clearing karma from a past life. That's why I'm single with no husband or wife. Unconditional love with my family is strange, triggering encounters with a brain that's deranged. I'm striving for logic between controlling and calm, but those abstract one-liners just do me wrong. It's the holidays, I say, and I made a pact to cut my dear old parents that abstract slap. Set your intention for divine intervention. Send out white light, feel consciously right. I'm the godly incarnate without the religion. Don't question my purpose, I've made my decision. She keeps herself busy now being retired. Creative, lonely, her mind is rewired. They both say comments that sound real whack, but during the holidays, I'll cut them that abstract slack.
Sonia, I think they want you to come back next month. Is that true? Oh, very clever. Very. I think I'm your cousin. Uncle. Alistair McLeod.
Come this way and tripped over my legs.
Sounds like I'm on. I've got a dilemma here. I swore that I was never going to come back here without having preparations. And so I vowed I would come back here with a sonnet and a song every single time. And I have a sonnet and I have a song, but I have to choose between them.
Uh-oh.
Since we have limited time, right?
Sing.
Sing. Now, you've all enjoyed singing along in the chorus, so you will be able to do this. Well, you wake up in the morning, you hear the work bell ring. They march you to the table, you see the same old thing. Ain't no food upon the table, and no pork up in the pan. You better not complain, boy, you get in trouble with the man. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine its everlasting light on me. Now, does anybody know why they're worried about the light shining on? Here's why. These are all men in prison. And they had a superstition, and they can see the train passing the prison. And they have a superstition that if the light of the train falls on them, they will go free. That's where this song comes from. Oh, I should explain one other thing before. Every time I do some research and I find out things that are so interesting, and of course, things are always censored. The last verse, I guarantee none of you have ever heard. It is about somebody called Jumpin' Judy. And Judy is, sorry?
Like Dinah.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, well, Judy is a euphemism for a prostitute that is in prison. Jumping is a euphemism for having sex. So that explains the last. So here we go. You ought to come, Miss Rosie. How in the world did you know? By the way she wears her apron and the clothes she wore. Umbrella on her shoulder, piece of paper in her hand. She come to see the governor. She want to free her now. Like the late night special. Shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. If you're ever in Houston, well, you better do right. You better not gamble, and you better not fight at all, or the sheriff will grab you, and the boys will bring you down. And the next thing you know, boy, you're penitentiary bound. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. Now here comes Jumpin' Judy. I'll tell you how I know. You know, Judy brought jumping to the whole wide world. She brought it in the morning, just about the break of day. You know, if I ever get to jumping, Lord, I'll jump and jump away. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine its ever-loving light on me. Thank you very much. Thank you guys so much for your appreciation of my singing. It makes my world, I swear to God. So thank you. We're down to our last poet.
So remember, if you want to hang out and talk to people, please do that. And Al Smith, are you still here, sir?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Al Smith. I'm doing my part for the environment. My name has been recycled. My poem is in the angle, I think it's 375, but don't quote me on that. My computer's not letting me in. Yeah. I have to read the paper version.
Yes.
So 377.
Thank you. And in 2018, I underwent treatment for tongue cancer, surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. That means I speak with a certain accent. The poem is Ring the Bell. At the end of chemo or radiation, they call it graduation. Staff and caregivers all congregate with the patients to celebrate. The young mademoiselle, with more meaning than she could tell, cried as she rang the bell. No polite decorum for me. It's not about dignity nor preserving serenity. I'm making the most of this opportunity. After weeks of nausea, hell, with a rowdy rebel yell, he grabbed the rope and rang the bell. Let hope ring loud and long as we celebrate becoming strong. Tough enough to face cancer as beginners and survive to become winners. Wishing all would be well for quite a spell. The child rang the bell. Thank you.
As they say on the reservation, thank you for the medicine, the hate and ignorance that we have to be bombarded with on a daily basis. One of the elders told me one day, Jim, you're watching too much news. You got to go outside and talk to a crow. No, we do. So thank you for coming. Thank you for how you inspire me. And this was written yesterday at a John Fox workshop. It's called the Kairos Medicine Brew Poetry Circle. And it's been revised a few times. It's called A Wash of Exhaustion for BPR. A wash of exhaustion, but hope for the world's in the song of Grandmother Moon. Please remember we are all connected as we protect ourselves from the teeth of the beasts. Yes, the predators are there, but so are the perfect trees, the flutter of wings, the grace of swans. Rest like bears, but don't hibernate. There's rainbows and dolphins waiting to be seen. Don't forget the pitter-patter of the calming rain. My heart softens in the quiet of fermata, the note of the sacred healing breath. You see, it's not the time of the setting sun. It's the time of the rosy dawn of change, the sweet poem of transformation that washes and refreshes us clean. All things are born in darkness. It is then we must not forget to walk towards the light. Thank you for coming. I love you all.
And there's nothing you can do about it. We'll see you next month. Take care.
I was gonna read another La Migra poem, but I didn't want to.